Okay, well, welcome to tonight's presentation. You all got invited to our business presentation about LifeVantage and our products for tonight. I won't focus too much on the products in this presentation. We'll share a few information about it. For those of you who are on right now, I know that you're already taking the products, so won't go into too much detail there. So I'm going to really talk about what we are doing at the moment in Ireland and throughout Europe. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brian Meter. I work with Siobhan Gannon, who invited you. Bit of my background, I used to do something different back in Germany. I'm from Germany originally, so I used to be an engineer back in Germany. I studied environmental protection and I worked in that field for a few years until I decided to move to Ireland because of my girlfriend who brought me here. And back then in Germany, about 8 years ago, I already had health issues myself. I had a bit of arthritis in my shoulders and I had chronic inflammation in my Achilles tendon. And through the change of diet, I personally got rid of it, so I don't suffer from these things anymore. And it kind of opened my eyes to how we can heal ourselves, how we can improve our health without medication. And that brought me onto a new path, I suppose, on nutrition. And then about 2 years ago, I came across the company LifeVantage and our lead product, which is called Protandim NRF2. I listened to a presentation just like you do now, and I was pretty amazed to see what this product does and what the science behind it is. And I was at the point in my life 2 years ago where I wanted to continue with, I suppose, the health field. I didn't want to go back into traditional business. Didn't want to take up a job where I have to work 5 days a week on someone else's terms, because we are doing bioenergy as well between Ireland and Germany. And so we would be traveling a lot, my girlfriend and myself. And I wanted to expand, I suppose, my personal development into different health-related fields. So by having a normal day job, that would have cut out all of that, I suppose, spontaneity. So I took that opportunity 2 years ago and started working with the company, and I haven't regretted it yet. So I'm really happy to be with the company. I'm really happy to be working with Siobhan and to have you on here tonight and share with you what we are going to do in the next few months here in Ireland, and I suppose for the future in Ireland. So when we're talking about LifeVantage, we have to understand a bit that, I suppose, business as we know it is changing, has changed, and probably will change a lot in the future. A lot of jobs will probably disappear in the next 10, 20 years. If you already think of going to Tesco and you can scan your products by yourself. There's obviously a few people still working behind a cashier, but I believe that in the future it will become less and less and less, and that's what we see in a lot of businesses. A lot of, suppose, online shopping is happening as well. People order products online rather than going to the shop. Maybe not so much here in the west of Ireland, but that's what we see in Germany, and probably, I suppose, over the world. People use more of online opportunities to go shopping. And if you think of the likes of Uber and Airbnb, for those of you who don't know what they are, because Uber is not so common here in Ireland. I'm not sure if they have it in Dublin, but Uber is basically kind of reinventing the taxi business. If you have a car and you drive from A to B, you can literally download the Uber app. You can sign up to become a Uber driver, and you can earn a few euro if you drive from Dublin to Galway, maybe on a regular basis, and you can bring people there or even within towns. So that's changing a lot, the taxi industry. And I suppose why is this happening is people are looking at alternatives, people looking at a second income, people looking at a side hustle to earn extra money because maybe their main income is not enough, or because they want to do something different with their life. And the same with Airbnb. If you think of Airbnb, if you have B&B at home, if you have a spare room to rent out, that's a platform that's used for this. And if you think maybe 10, 20 years back, if you were renting, if you had a B&B, you would have either someone knows you, someone drives past you and they find you. But today you can literally share who you are and where you're based with the whole world on the Airbnb platform. And Airbnb doesn't own a single one of those, I suppose, accommodations. They just give a platform for people like you and I to promote themselves and to show themselves. Facebook, I suppose, I don't have to talk about Facebook a lot, but that has changed a lot. Whether we like it or not, it is becoming a huge, huge influence in our daily lives. We use it for advertising. We use it for informing ourselves, for news, for exchanging with friends, for exchanging with business partners. So that it has changed a lot. And Amazon, last but not least, the biggest book seller in the world, but doesn't own a single book. So again, it's just a platform given to others as opposed to sell their products rather than them doing the advertising. That's what Amazon does for them, and Amazon's going to change a lot. So that's how business is changing over the like already in has changed, but will change even more in the future. And what we are doing really is something called biohacking. So when we think of biohacking, it might sound a bit, suppose, don't use the word dangerous, but it sounds a bit, don't know how to feel about it. But biohacking is quite a big movement, which is literally about taking control of your own biology, making yourself the best version you can be and the healthiest version you can be. Because from an early age, from the minute we're born, from the second we are taking the breath, we are in an environment now which isn't as clean as it probably was 200, 300, 400 years ago. We're constantly exposed to toxins, to pollutants. Our air is not as clean as it used to be. Here in the west of Ireland, again, probably a lot cleaner than in most parts of the world. But there's particles that we are exposed to on a daily basis, which our body just has to deal on an extra basis. And not only that, we work longer hours today, we work longer years. We have like four weeks of holidays a year, which we have to beg for. So all of these things are putting extra stress on our body. A lot of electromagnetic frequency. Some of you might have heard of 5G coming now soon. So there's a lot of things that our body has to deal with, that our body is kind of hijacked. And that's why we want to biohack our body, because we want to optimize our potential, we want to optimize our genetic potential, and we literally want to become the best version of ourselves. And how we are doing this with LifeVantage is a field called nutrigenomics. Nutrigenomics is not something that LifeVantage invented. That's basically a scientific field that has been around for a good while. And it's literally looking at how nutrients and natural compounds found in plants and in herbs and fruits and vegetables, how they affect our genes. So because obviously we now know which genes are affecting us in a negative way, which gene is responsible for Alzheimer's or can be responsible for Alzheimer's or certain cancers or rheumatoid arthritis, and many others. So we also know which genes are important for our health. So we want to keep those genes active. We want to even increase their activity, because those genes can slow down over time, over age, as we age. So we want to reactivate them, and that's what we do with the field nutrigenomics. Okay, that was just a very short video to give you a better understanding of nutrigenomics, of what LifeVantage does in that field. Like you saw with the NRF2 and the NRF1, you've heard of this, you're taking them already. NRF2 is for the reduction of oxidative stress, and NRF1 is to boost our mitochondria. So those two aspects in our body, they're the main reasons why we age. If you look at any illness, any disease, you will find a connection most likely to oxidative stress being increased and mitochondria being not as effective, not as efficient, not as functional as they should be. And that's why I have this slide here up. If you look at pubmed.gov, that might not mean a lot to you, and there's a lot of science here on this page, but if you think of science, you're looking at PubMed, because that's where all medical papers, studies are published. So any doctor, if they look at a product, if they look at studies regarding illnesses, they would go to pubmed.gov and they would look up whatever they're searching for. So it's literally the biggest research library online you'll find for medical research. And why is that so important? That's because Protandim NRF2 is published there with, at the moment, 24 peer-reviewed papers, and that gives the company and the product a very big validation, because those studies have not been done by the company; they have been done by universities and institutions, like the ones you can see, like Harvard University, like the American Heart Association, the Ohio State University. So there's different third parties that have tested Protandim and have done their own research on the products. To understand where we are now and who we are now, we have to go back a little. I don't know if some of you have seen this already, but it all started back in 2003 when the company first started selling Protandim NRF2. That was the first product. That was the only product they had back then, and the company was run by pretty much by scientists. It was a biotech company out of Denver, Colorado. And the lead biochemist, Dr. John McCord, he came up with this product. He has been researching in the field of oxidative stress for a very long time, and he came up with the product. They put the product onto the shelves, and it did sell. It was kind of like in shops like we have here, like Evergreens and Holland & Barrett and those likes. And it did sell. The company did turn over a few million a year, but just not as much as they wanted. And then what happened in 2005, the American TV program called ABC Primetime Investigative Report, and their presenter called John Kinone, they contacted the company. They contacted Dr. John McCord, and they asked, can we take a look at what you're doing there? You are claiming to have this amazing product that reduces the #1 cause of aging, and we would like to do a TV program on you. And they were absolutely fine and delighted to have them with them. And what happened, they did a blood test on the presenter, and within 2 weeks, he came back 2 weeks later, and the oxidative stress levels in his bloods, they dropped by 45% within the 2 weeks, which was unheard of back then. After that, obviously the demand for the product increased quite a bit. Let's put it that way. A lot of people in the US saw that program and they wanted the product, but the company wasn't really kind of structured to deal and to handle the huge demand that happened after this program. And so basically they went on with selling it in retail in the shops like Evergreen until the year 2009, when they said, let's do something different here. The company back then was already listed on the stock market, on the NASDAQ, so publicly traded, and they wanted to get more out of the company, I suppose, because of what the product did and because of the uniqueness of the product, because no one else had anything similar to the NRF2 activator that LifeVantage had. So they brought in a new marketing team. The marketing team looked at the product, the marketing team looked at the science, at the studies, and the marketing team looked at the video from 2005. And they said, well, this product has a story, and this story is not being told in the shop. So instead of having it sitting in the shelves in the shop, next to many other products that people know. Because if you go to a shop and you know what a magnesium is, you know what an antioxidant is, you know what a vitamin C is, or you know what maybe an elderberry syrup is. But back then, no one knew, and I'd say even today, only a few know what an NRF2 activator is. So that's why they said let's start this a bit different. Let's open the network marketing leg in a way. Let's put this product into the hands of independent distributors and let them go out there and share the story about the product, about the science, and about the video. And what happened within 6 months, the turnover in the network marketing area was 900% higher than in the normal retail. So 9 times more was turned over, was sold through the distributors than in retail and in the shops. And that's when the company said, well, that makes it very easy for us. So we're taking it out of the shops. We're switching away from retail into network marketing. And that's why we are now selling the product this way, because sometimes people ask, why are you not in shops? Because that's how it started. And success in the network marketing business just showed this is the way to bring this product into the market. And what's also important to know is where we are at the moment, because if you are looking at this as a business opportunity, which this is, you want to know, does everyone know in the world know about this? And because if everyone knows about it, it might be a bit late to tell someone something new. It's like if you think back 20 years from now, a pager was a very fancy thing to have when you had this little thing clicked on your belt and you got a message when you had a call. Great business idea back then, but if you want to sell this today, it might be a bit too late to tell people about a pager. And that's the same with Protandim and with NRF2, with what LifeVantage does. The NRF2 activation is gaining a lot of interests in the scientific field. So a lot of medical companies looking into researching it and want to create and patent drugs. But there's no other company who has a patented natural NRF2 activator with 24 peer-reviewed studies. So that's very important to know. So at the moment we are, obviously, it started in the US. We have the US and Canada, also Mexico in Northern and Central America, as well as we have Puerto Rico there as well, which belongs in a way to the US. We have Australia, we have in Europe, then we have Germany, we have the UK, Spain. Now also Spain is not on this map as of yet, the Netherlands, and we have a few countries in Asia. So you see it's only a few, only like 12, 13, 14 countries open for distributors. And there's a few other countries open at the moment for customers, such as Ireland. Now there's things happening in Ireland as well, which will change the business in the next few weeks. So, and we have other countries that are just joining. So from that point of view, it's very interesting because it's always good to be in at the very beginning rather than when the whole country already knows about the products. And to see what kind of products we have, obviously we have been talking about the NRF2 and the NRF1 a lot. NRF2, the Protandim NRF2 is our lead product, which is responsible for, as far as I know, almost 70% of the company's turnover, which is $200 million a year. But there's also other ranges. So in the US, we also have something called the Vitality Stack, which you see on the top. The Vitality Stack is basically 4 products together, packed into little sachets for your daily supply. Rather than having bottles, they put it into those little sachets. So you have the Protandim NRF2, the NRF1, you have the Omega Plus, which is a great product, which has vitamin D in it as well. And we have the probiotics, which are very interesting because they're specially designed so that the bacteria actually end up in our gut rather than getting destroyed by our stomach acid. And they also have something in it called Wellmune, which is actually from the Kerry Group, which is an Irish company. That's a beta-glucan, which is very, very important to kind of help support the immune system in particular. We also have, and by the way, the Vitality Stack will come to Europe in the future. It's just a matter of time. At the moment, we only have the single bottles, but that stack will come to Europe, and it will then make it also more affordable because it'll be cheaper if you buy them all together rather than single products. We also have the only NRF2 activated skincare, for those of you who don't know about this. So basically, it's a skincare that activates the skin cells through the NRF2 herbs and ingredients to produce antioxidant enzymes, which again helps rejuvenate the skin, which helps keep the skin younger and fresher and more hydrated. So there's a set with a cleanser with a perfecting lotion, which is a mix of a toner and a serum. There's also an anti-aging cream and a specially formulated eye serum, which can also be applied on the top lids of your eyes. In the US, we also have something called Pet Tandem. Like the word says, it's made for dogs, it's made for animals, and has great results with aging dogs in the US. Arthritic dogs and dogs who are just getting older, dogs who lose a bit of fun in life. Literally, we have a lot of stories where we see huge improvements with dogs. The moment we don't have this in Europe, so we just use Tandem instead. We also have an energy drink, which is, I suppose, the healthy version of an energy drink, not the Monster or the Red Bulls. It's literally, again, NRF2 activated nootropics, so special ingredients that help activate your brain, your nerve cells, keep the energy up for your brain in particular, so for better focus, better concentration, and a clearer mind. And as well as that, we have a physique system, which is for weight management and kind of a detox. So looking at what we have, looking at the product range and looking where LifeVantage stands in the global market, there's a huge volume of $500+ billion. So that's what's in euro, that's probably like 450 billion euro market. And that's because of the different ranges that we kind of fall into. If you look at the Protandim NRF2 and the NRF1, that's anti-aging, but it's anti-aging nutrition rather than anti-aging skincare, because we want to start on the inside rather than on the outside. And that's a market worth $300 billion. The skincare market with the NRF2 skincare is over $120 billion. Animal pet care, that's another $67 billion. And you see the same with the smart energy and the weight loss. Again, they're huge billion-dollar markets. That's obviously important to know, because if you want to work with a product, you need to know that there's a market for it. That's what research shows, that this is how they estimate those markets to develop in the future. So if you ask yourself, probably asking yourself, is this something I can do? Is this something I want to do? And why would I want to do it? And most of the times people say like, oh, I don't know how to do it. And this is the beauty in what we do, because it is a proven system that is duplicated over and over by me, by Siobhan, by people who brought me into the business. And we'll teach others to do the same. So it's basically a laptop lifestyle where you can work this from anywhere, really. So I would travel a lot between Germany and Ireland and the UK. I bring my laptop and I can do this wherever I am. I don't have to be in an office. I don't have to be in my office at home. I can do it anywhere. And I think this is the way work is going in the future, is with more flexibility for people to bring the laptops even when you go away for a weekend and you have an hour on a Saturday morning where you want to work this. This is the way to do it. So a lot of social sharing. We work a lot on Facebook. People spend a lot of time on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, you name it. But we spend a lot of more time online than people probably did 10, 20, 30 years ago. Well, definitely 20 years ago. But it's just a huge opportunity to reach out to people that we normally wouldn't have met. 20 years ago, if you were starting network marketing, you were talking to your friends and your family and your neighbors, and you somehow expanded your network. But today, with the opportunities we have with the internet, reaching out to people is just a huge opportunity. We had our Spanish launch 3 weeks ago, and I literally connected with so many people in Barcelona beforehand, and I'm now connecting with them to see if they want to build this in Spain. So I wouldn't have had that opportunity 15 years ago. It's only because of the likes of the internet and Facebook. So what we also have, well, we already have a team. We connect through WhatsApp. We connect through Facebook. We are in the business, not just for ourselves. So you're not in there for yourself. You are there with people like me, like Siobhan, like others, who support you, who help you, who guide you, who show you how to work it, who show you where to look things up, who show you what to say to people, when to say it, how to say it, I suppose. So there's a system that's very easy to duplicate if you pass it on correctly. And we also do systematic trainings, not only online. We would do a lot online. We have weekly team calls online and other supporting groups online where, depending on how people have time throughout the week, we support each other. But also we do regional events. So there will be events soon in Ireland, and we will have them on a regular basis. So it's always nice to meet each other, to connect with people that you normally wouldn't. People maybe from the team, but not directly your team, but who working with this in Ireland, even the UK. So that's what I like about this really is connecting with people all over Europe and calling them my friends now, really, because we work together. So if that's really what makes this a lot of fun, actually. And it's obviously you can take control on your own terms. So whenever you have time for this, you make the time for that, and you work it whenever you want to. There's no, you have to be there at a certain time. If you have an hour a day, if you have 4 hours on the weekend, whatever it is for you, if you have 20 minutes on a lunch break, whatever you do, if you're a mother at home, you might have a bit more time in the morning. And so there's a system that you can use, and you have total control over how to use it. You can use your phone, you can use your laptop, you can use your pad, your iPad, you can use your computer, whatever it is, whatever works for you. But we have a system that we can duplicate, and we can show you how to use it. And looking at network marketing and how it's developed over the last, I suppose, in this case, 6-7 years, it's constantly growing. And yes, as you can see, in 2011, it was $158 billion worldwide that was turned over through network marketing. And if you go even further back to 2008, 2009, there was even a higher increase than you see in this graph here, because with the economic crisis, people were looking for alternatives. People didn't want to rely on their job anymore, didn't want to rely on the economy anymore, and were starting taking control over their own financial future with network marketing. And I believe it's probably the best way to do without having the risk of setting up your own business. We don't know how it's going to turn out within the first few years. That's when network marketing becomes more and more interesting for people. I suppose in one way to look at the financial security down the road, but even for now, people might want to change their current job situation. People might want to get back into some sort of work, but don't want to get back into a full-time job where they have to be at a certain place because they still have kids at home. They have maybe kids in school, kids in play school. So it gives people a lot of freedom and opportunities to build this from different places. And again, to build something long-term, to build maybe a second pension, to maybe make this the first pension, and don't rely on the actual state or government or company pension. Even if you look at the likes of Brexit now, literally you'll see politicians just do what they want to do, and they can literally change things whichever way suits them. So a lot of people don't want to rely on that anymore, don't rely on the system, and they want to take control of their own future. And I think the network marketing in that case is a huge opportunity for people who like that. And then again, if you look at the likes of why LifeVantage and why now, is it a good idea to do that at this very moment? Or will I wait another 10 years? Or should I have gone back 10 years and joined then? Well, if you could go back 10 years, you probably should have joined, but you don't want to wait another 10 years to join, because what happens is the company is not super young anymore, but still young in a way. You might know that most companies don't make it over the first 5 years. I think only 4% of companies who are starting make it over the 5 years. So 96% of the companies don't last that long because of all the risks they have in the beginning, all the money they have to spend in the beginning until they turn over money. So LifeVantage is way, way above that already. So we're not in that risky period anymore. We're already turning over 200 million US dollars, actually 207, I think it was last year. And we're also not in the phase where we are still innovators. We have to bring the product to the market and we don't know, does it work? Do people like it? That's already been proven that people like it, that it works for people. And we've been around now for a good time. So we're still in the phase, as you can see here, with early adopters. And the company is starting to grow now. So you want to be in that phase when not so many people know about it, and probably 99.9% still don't know about NRF2, and probably 95% don't know about oxidative stress, but it's the #1 cause of aging and illness. So this is the place to be in at this very moment, because it's only starting now. People are realizing, people are becoming more aware of it, and therefore you want to be before everyone knows about it. You want to be in before everyone knows about it. So you might ask yourself, how do I start with this if I want to start with this? It's quite simple. So we are connected to the UK at the moment. So what we have is, we all have a start kit to start with. We also have a gold and a platinum pack, which I'm going to talk about on the next slide. But we all have to start with a start kit. That's just by law in the UK. That's the way it is, because for some reason you're only allowed to invest £200 at the very start. That's why we have to have it like this. What's in the start kit is a Protandim NRF2, it's a Protandim NRF1, there's a facial cream, and there's the probiotics, the Pro Plus. That comes together for £200. You'll also get a blueprint and a launch guide. So basically great information on how to start the business, on how to launch your own business, how to get going. And you'll also have, as you can see there, your own e-commerce website. If you ever set up your own business and you created a website or had someone create a website, you probably know there's a lot of money involved to set up a website. There's a lot of money involved to create marketing, to have advertising. This is all done for you. So as soon as you enroll, as soon as you sign up, the very next second you have your own website. And from the very moment, you can literally share your link and share with your friends or whoever you spoke to, and they can order through your link and you get paid for it, which I'm going to look to in a few slides further. But this is the way it works. If you have an uncle in Australia, if you have a friend in the US, if you meet someone on holidays in Spain or in Mexico, they can become your customers or even your distributors, your partners, through that link. Very simple, very easy. And then after 7 days, you can upgrade to the gold or platinum pack. This is a once-off thing. It's not something you have to do every month. Don't worry. It's basically the way you set up your business. If you're looking at, you just want to share a few products or a bit of information with your friends and family and neighbors, and you're not super interested in building a big business or a business at all with it, then the gold pack is probably the best idea for you. The gold pack comes with, as you can see, 2 extra NRF2, 2 extra NRF1, the skincare, and 2 probiotics. That's for £355. The platinum pack is for people who want to build a business with this. The platinum pack has, as you can see, extra products, another 6 NRF2, 5 NRF1, 2 probiotics, and 2 full skincare ranges. It comes with free shipping, and it also opens up the compensation plan in a way that you earn full commissions on whatever you do. Whereas with only the start pack, you would be a bit restricted with not earning as much down the road in regards to commissions. So if you want to build this as a business, you're probably looking at the platinum pack, just because you'll have the products there. And what we do with people and what we do with new distributors, we'll help them pre-sell it before they even order it. So we'll help them to get 2 customers on board and take the money obviously from them, and then help them to sell their products before it's even ordered, which makes it easier for them to then invest in the product. But again, if you look at how much it is to invest in a business, that's in total £1,050 for the start pack and the platinum pack. That's for having a business. If you open an office somewhere, if you set up a new company from scratch, you're probably looking at 50 or 100,000 euro easily, and that's all covered for you. You know, you don't have to worry about production, you don't have to worry about quality control or customer service. That's all there. That's all included. There's no fee that you're paying for on a monthly basis for running your website. Some companies actually do that. Some network marketing companies where you have to pay monthly 10 or 20 euro fee in order for you to be active distributor. We don't do that. That's all included in the pack. And what you're probably looking at, that's why you're at the business presentation, is how do I make money with this? And there's different ways, there's a few different ways with LifeVantage to make money. And the compensation plan is quite unique compared to other companies again, because it really incentivizes people to help other people, which makes it very interesting. So you have obviously a network of customers or consumers. That's how you earn money, but you also build a network of distributors. That's how you earn money in a second way. And there's different approaches. If you think of the way you're being paid probably today in normal work life, or if you're a massage therapist, or if you're a personal coach, or if you don't have like a monthly income, you're getting paid for the time that you're giving. So if you don't massage someone, you're not getting paid. You're only getting paid on that day when you do your services. That's called linear income. So you work and you get paid for it. But what we are looking here at is you work today and you get paid tomorrow and next month and the month after and the month after. That's something called residual income, which is obviously what makes network marketing so interesting, because you're not just getting paid when you actually go to work. Down the road, you're getting paid for the work you put in some time in the past, where you trained people, where you helped people, where you brought people into the team, where you got customers into the team, and you're getting rewarded for that every month down the road. You also have linear income in a way in the company, because if you bring in a new customer or a new distributor, you're getting paid for that. You're getting rewarded for that between 30 and 40% if you're on the platinum pack. And that's, in a way, that's still linear income. But what we're looking at is the residual income, which I'm going to tell you now in a moment. Also, when you're looking at launch bonuses, if you have a team and you help grow your team, you help your team to develop, you help your team to expand, that's what you're being rewarded for monthly and weekly, where you're getting paid by the company for expanding, obviously, into the market. The monthly pay is called royalty commission. So what we'll see is we have a very high customer retention rate. So people who stay on the product, they stay on it for quite some time. They don't just take the product for a month, and that's something that's very, very rarely seen in the whole network marketing industry. People normally order once or twice, 3 times, but then they might have some stock at home, they forget about it, they might order again somewhere down the road. So it's really hard to build a business not knowing who's going to order next month. But with our subscription-based program, we know that 80%, up to 80% of our customers who take the Protandim NRF2 will still take it in 12 months from now. Now that's obviously a great number to know, because that way you know the time you put in today will still pay you in 12 months from now. That's what we call royalty commissions. There's also something called generational match bonus, where you get rewarded for what your personally enrolled distributor earns. So if you enroll your sister and she earns €1,000 a month, you get paid on her check. You get 10% of what she earns. Now, if you have 10 of them, that's a nice check to have. There's also something called elite pools that you can see that on the bottom right in the corner. Basically, what the company does there is to take out 4% of what the company's revenue is on a monthly basis worldwide, and they share it into 4 sectors. So if you're Pro 7, 8, 9, or 10, you get 1% out of that. And obviously, if you're Pro 10, you get 4% out of that. At the moment, as far as I know, if you're Pro 10, that's the highest rank or second highest rank in the company, you get $35,000 roughly out of that pool, just out of that pool, which is, I suppose, a nice extra to have. And the question is, how far can you take this, and how do I know how much I can earn? How do you know where to go to, which rank to achieve in order to earn some money. What you can see here is something called income disclosure. That's what the company is publishing every year because the company is publicly traded. So they're, as I said earlier, they're on the NASDAQ, and they have to obviously be transparent in regards to their numbers and what they're paying out to their distributors. And as you can see on the left, you see the paid ranks, and it starts from distributor and then from Pro 1 to all the way down to Master Pro 10 and Executive Master Pro 10. They're just different ranks that people achieve and develop and build over the years. And depending on the rank they're in, there's a certain amount of money they earn on average. So if you look in the third column from the left, which says monthly average, you'll see when you start as a distributor, there's $13 a month. That's not a lot. Even Pro 1, $80 a month on average is not a lot, but it might be mean something for someone because it might pay the phone bill, or it might pay the school bag or the school books or something for the kids. So it's just up to you to look down the line which number would be interesting for you to make a bit of room maybe in your daily life to earn an extra income down the road. Is it worth that if you earned $580, let's say €500 a month, so you want to get to the rank Pro 3? That's something easily achievable, and we can talk about it and show you how to achieve that. If you want to maybe have a real second income or main income, you want to reach the rank Pro 5, where we're looking at probably €2,000 roughly a month on average. If you want to take this to a step where you say, oh, I want to earn €10,000 a month, we're looking at Elite Pro 7. At the moment, we have one Pro 8 in Europe. So within 3 years, we're only in Europe for 3 years, started in the UK, and we have one Pro 8 rank. So it just shows it is possible to achieve that. Many people have achieved this in the company. We have over 200 Pro 7s in our company, so over 200 people who earn over €10,000 or $11,000 a month on average. And about 80% of them have never done net marketing before. So it just shows with the system we have, it is possible for everyone to get to where they want to if they put in the work. This is not about getting rich quickly. We're not telling you you'll be earning a 6-figure income within 6 months. It is possible, but that's not the way we're looking at network marketing. Network marketing is really something that you'll build long term, and you have a vision for maybe 3, 5, 7, 10 years from now, where you say in 10 years time, if I had €10,000 a month in 10 years time, that would make life a hell lot easier, because I could send the kids to university, I could go on holidays whenever I want to, I'd have the house paid off. So whatever it means to you, whatever financial independence means to you, whether it's $2,000, whether it's 500, or it's 10,000, or it might be 100,000, it's all possible with this system, and it's up to you what time you want to invest in it. And if you think, okay, 5 years from now, I would love to have an extra income of €1,000. I can do this. I can make some room half an hour a day. I can make some room an hour a day early in the morning. I get up early in the morning and do a few contacts. I call a few people, or I network with a few people. So that's up to you to look at it from that point of view. Because I suppose the traditional life plan is probably a bit outdated. We're told to go to school for 20 years or until 1920, learn as much as possible, learn it by heart, don't understand it, just learn it by heart, and then you go and get a job, you go to university, and then you work for 40 to 50 years, you earn money, and you're 60, 65, you retire, hopefully there's a bit of money left, and then you start living. Whereas with network marketing, and especially with us with LifeVantage, I suppose life has a different plan. That's how I see it. We have to learn in school, yes, and it might make sense to go to university also. But why not build something already when you're going to university on the side? Why not already build a second income when you're young, and maybe finance your studies with it? even if you don't want to go into traditional business, if you don't want to have a job, that's the way to go. It's about starting early, building a residual income that pays you every month and which increases every month, depending on the work you put in. And literally enjoy life. Live life not when you're 65 or 70. Start living life while you're working with this business. You can have so many opportunities with it, to travel, to whatever you're interested in, I suppose. Spend more time with the family, spend more time with the kids. That's how life should actually be, rather than spending so much time in a job that we don't want to do, that is just robbing our energy and robbing our time. And at the end of the day, it might not even pay us well enough to have a nice life at the end. So what I'd like to finish with is never depend on a single income. It's very important in today's world, and that's how I started also, is to look at alternatives, to look at different options, rather than depending on the one job that might be closed down in the future, or the project that's not going to continue because the funds are not there, and then you're literally like made redundant after 13 years or 15 years that you put a lot of effort into a company. So think of that. Think of creating something on the side which will support you no matter what happens in life, and might be an opportunity to take over life, to become a full-time payment for yourself. And in regards to that, there's a few things that you want to think of, maybe in regards to, is LifeVantage the company that I would like to work with? No matter what kind of business you're setting up, I think it's important to ask yourself about the product. Is the product unique? Is the product something that I can find somewhere else? Is the product something that other companies have, maybe at a cheaper price? And that's where we stand out. Our product, no one else has it. And it's very easy to build because people can't go anywhere else. If you want to build a business today with a protein shake, you can do that, but you have to be very good, because you have to convince me why I should buy a protein shake of you rather than buying it in the shop or in Tesco or in the health food shop or wherever else I could get it. The same I see with hemp oil, as good as it is, as amazing as it is, cannabis oil, CBD oil. So many companies have it out there at the moment, and I'd find it very difficult to build a business with something that 20, 30, 40, 50, probably 100 companies in the near future will have, even here in Ireland. You want to look at the research that's there. Is the research validated? Is it done by the company, or is it done by independent institutions? That's what we have. Because every company will tell you their product is the best. Everyone will. No company will tell you like, oh, buy our product, but it's actually not that good. Every company will tell you their product is the best, but you need a solid scientific basis to support what you're saying, what you're talking about. Also, is the product consumable, and is the product affordable? And I think these 4 points are ticked by ProTandem. Then you want to look at leadership. Leadership, obviously, in the field with people who are working above you in your upline. We have an amazing team which is our leading team from the UK. They have been in the network marketing industry for quite some time, for I think 8 and 10 years. Lara and Lisa, and they know what to do. They have shown over and over how to run this business, how to help other people succeed. Also, the corporate team. Corporate team is very important. Do they know what they're doing? Have they done this before? 7 of our top corporate team, including the CEO and the chief sales officer, they have been in other big network marketing companies in the past that you might have heard of, and they brought them from a point where we are now with LifeVantage, which is a $200 million company. They brought them up to an over $1 billion company. So they know what to do. They know what it takes to open new markets. They know what to do to support the people in the field like you guys. So that's ticked. You want to look at the compensation plan. How do I get paid? do I get paid for the things I do? Is it motivating? Is the compensation plan motivating? And is it incentivizing? What's the customer distributor ratio? That's very important. We have an 80 to 20 customer to distributor ratio. In a lot of companies, you would see probably a 50-50 ratio, where a lot of distributors join in, but you won't have a basis of customers. And it's very important to have a customer base because they're ordering on a monthly basis. Whereas in companies with a lot of distributors, the distributors order, and then when they have their products, you don't get more orders in, and your business kind of like, it might start very quickly. That's where you see people earning a lot of money very quickly, but then there's no foundation and it kind of like breaks down very quickly as well. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a retention of 80%. For 80% of our customers stay on the product for up to 12 months. So that's a huge, huge factor again, which is highly, highly unseen and unheard of in the industry, where people normally take maybe 6 weeks up to 3 months a product. So here we have a subscription where people take the product for 12 months. That again is very important if you want to build a business. And last but not least, the timing. We're in 20 markets at the moment. We are in only 12 or 14 for business. So we're expanding globally. We're expanding all the way through Europe. We are only starting in Ireland. It's a huge, huge opportunity from that point of view. So that's the fourth point that's ticked by LifeVantage and by the products. So if you found this talk interesting, then please get back to the person who invited you to it. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you again.